the TECSUN PL-310ET. I really don't feel like I'm the person to do a review on this radio. As far as like a radio goes, I am not an expert. I couldn't tell you why or how much better the reception or the accuracy is on this compared to something else. But I can tell you why I bought this and what I use it for, and I can tell you that I actually really enjoy this little radio. I bought this for one main reason is when I'm in my bedroom, I've got a little amplifier hooked up to some speakers, and the amplifier is just an amplifier. It's one of those little Chinese amplifiers. You can plug your phone or an MP3 player or whatever into it, and it sounds pretty good for what it is, but obviously I don't always want to just listen to like MP3s on my phone. Sometimes I want to listen to like FM radio or even AM radio. So I bought this to run just as a tuner, basically, to my amplifier. But I also use this when I go camping, and sometimes I'll use it to listen to AM radio, talk radio, or something at night, or actually music with the headphones on. So using it to play through my amplifier or to listen to music on headphones, and then whenever I go camping, I take this with me. Whenever I go camping, I love to have a radio with me, and I really don't care if it's loud. It's going to be right beside me, and I just want some music, and so this fits the bill. The built-in speaker is pretty crappy, to be honest, for listening to music. I'm surprised in most of the reviews that I've read on this, that's rarely mentioned, but I think a lot of people might be buying this for the fact this can pick up shortwave, and for me, I'm mostly using it to listen to FM music with. So good news is headphones sound amazing on this thing. It's actually got a surprisingly good headphone amp in it. It gets a hell of a lot louder than my phone, and the bass response through my headphones is surprisingly good. So for listening to music on headphones, it sounds really good, and obviously that applies to running the headphone jack to an amplifier. So yeah, it's great for what I use it for. I have dabbled with the shortwave when I've gone camping and I'm outside in the middle of nowhere at night. I can pick up shortwave stations from halfway around the world, and it's kind of neat to listen to those sometimes. But yeah, so I guess we'll get to it. It's got a really nice interface on it. That's part of the reason I like this thing so much. It's a DSP style tuner, and it's all electronic. It's got a nice backlit display on it. Hopefully that's coming through in the camera. The display is super easy to read. You've got a temperature on there. You've got the time. You can change the time between 12-hour and 24-hour. I had it on 24-hour because when I was listening to shortwave, I was finding charts online to find out what stations are on at what times, and a lot of those shortwave radio station guides are all using the 24-hour time. So yeah, you can also turn the beep on and off. So when you turn this thing on, it beeps, and every button you press, makes a beeping noise, right? But you can turn the beep on and off. Most of these ones you have to hold to change a setting. You have to do it when the radio's off. When the radio's on, you can't change the clock from 12 hours to 24 hours, for example. So these ones that are in orange, you hold down most of them while the radio's off. There's another one here is a picture of a battery, and that changes the battery type to chargeable. If you have rechargeable batteries in here, you can charge them through the USB port. If you don't have rechargeable batteries in there, you want to make sure that setting's turned off. I don't. I've just got alkalines in there. The battery life is outstanding on this. This is the first, it takes 3 AA's. And the ones that are in here are from when I bought this radio. So just camping alone, I had this thing on, for probably 20 hours. And the other times I listen to it at night and everything. It's probably got 30 hours worth of battery life on there, and it's still got a third of the battery left. One of them, I think, makes the light stay on all the time, so maybe that's what I just did. Maybe there's not a way to make the light turn off. You can just make it so it's always on. Obviously, that would kill the batteries a lot faster, so I don't want to do that. The default is the light comes on anytime you change a setting, and it stays on for a few seconds and then turns off, which realistically, I don't know why you would want to change it away from that setting. Another setting you can change is when it's on, your time turns into your frequency, your station, and where it was showing the temperature, now it's showing the time. There's a setting somewhere to change that so that it will always show the temperature. You can have it so it's showing the temperature or it's showing the time when it's on. So there's a lot of hidden little features in here. I've obviously figured out most of them, but maybe not all of them. One of them is this ETM feature, which is pretty neat. For example, when I go camping. So right now, let me just turn up the volume a little bit. The volume's a rotary encoder style, so it clicks up and down, and it shows you on the screen what your volume level is. Same with your tuning. Your tuning knob is a rotary encoder, and it clicks every time you change it. So by default, it changes through the presets, but obviously you can toggle it so it will just manually tune. So right now it's going through my presets. I've got 14 or 15 or so FM stations in the presets. But say I go camping and it's 50 or 100 miles away, and none of my preset radio stations no longer apply because I'm too far away from those and I don't pick those up anymore. You can hold down this ETM button and it'll scan through and save all the stations it finds, but only in a temporary memory settings. It won't replace your normal presets. So it's great when you're in a different area, like temporarily. So that is a pretty cool feature. So the built-in speaker is very, very flat. It's fine for talk radio, which, again, most people are probably using this for talk radio or shortwave. And so it's just for voice. And I think that's mainly what it was made for. But it sounds awesome. Lots of bass response. FM stations on this sound excellent. I didn't show the antenna. It's got one of these kind of retractable antennas. And on the side is your volume and your tuning. Again, they're both rotary encoding style knobs. They'll continue to spin in one direction. On the other side, there's an optional external antenna connector. To be honest, I've never used that. We have the headphone jack. That's what I used when I was plugging it into the amp. There's no line out, so you just always use the headphone jack and set the volume accordingly. And a mini USB to power it and or charge it. It comes in this little carrying case thing that's covered in dust right now. That's nice. It's got a little built-in kickstand. Again, the battery life, it's gone at least 30 hours on the stock 3 batteries that it came with, so the battery life seems to be pretty good, and I just really like the way it looks. It's just got that 90s look to it, and the screen on it's awesome. I love the backlit screen. It does what I wanted it to do, and again, it sounds great, especially plugged into an amplifier or with headphones on. FM stereo music sounds awesome on this thing with headphones on. Built-in speaker is terrible. Don't buy it for the built-in speaker. But again, when I go camping, that's how I use it. It's right beside me, and it sounds flat, and I don't care. I listen to it all day and all night when I go camping. But that's it. Oh, did I turn the beep off? Apparently I turned the beep off. To be honest, I like the beep, so I leave it on. Yep, it's like a microwave. Yep. Yeah, you got an alarm setting on there. To be honest, I've never used that. It looks like there's a chime as well. Again, I've never used that. Time, I assume, is to set the time. Obviously, I did that when I got it, but I haven't need to do it since. It does have some kind of I guess it's a capacitor, maybe a supercapacitor. But when you remove the batteries, it still has power. And the battery is flashing, and it's like a warning. It's telling you get new batteries in it. And if you get new batteries in it quick enough, then you won't lose any of your settings. So yeah, again, I assume that's like a supercapacitor or some sort of a capacitor in there that can keep the thing running for a few minutes anyways without batteries in it. So that's a pretty neat feature. I don't know how common that is on these kind of radios, but it seems like a pretty cool feature to me. So yeah, radio review from someone who's not an expert on radio.